But it was Catholic.
Yeah, and like I said, for the way my family treated it was more like I said, we were there Christmas, Easter, you know. It was very superficial, put it
Yeah.
that way, and it just really seemed like we're doing it just to do it because that's what we've done for generations, you know. There
Right.
was no there was no encouraging.
You got to be a minister or something.
Yeah, you have to. Man, I remember. I remember that because you have to go through. You have to do your first confession. You got to
Yes.
do stuff like that so that you can do, the first communion confirmation. And I remember that I was so scared. I think I was in like second grade, and so I'm this little kid, and I remember I had to go do my first confession with the priest, and I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna confess, right? And so I go into the little confessional. I don't know how it is today. I think they changed things today for safety purposes. You know what I'm talking about. But back then it was like you go into this little room and they slide this little window, right? And there's something the priest can't really see you, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I was depending on to get me through it because I was like, okay, I'll just close my eyes and say I'll just answer his questions, you know. But nah, they let the priest know that this is my first confession, and so he comes from outside the box, and he's sitting in like they had this like velvety chair in front of me, and so he came out to talk to me face to face because it was my first confession. So yeah, there's no closing your eyes and getting through it. You're like he's looking at you. And so I remember um he kind of starts talking to me about like, do you know what confession is? Why we do it? And so he's kind of just like talking to me about that, and then we start, huh?
No, I'm just laughing.
Oh,
Because
and then
we don't know how to do this, and you're supposed to confess to the Lord, not to some guy.
yeah, it
What?
was
What did I say?
crazy. It was crazy, man. I think yeah. So he's like, so what would you like to confess? And I said the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, I didn't wash the dishes and I made my brother do it. That was my first confession, dude. And then he asked me, "Well, what do you think your punishment should be?" And all
Nothing.
I know is what my parents do. And I was like, I think my parents should spank me.
You just said nothing. I think my
Right?
punishment should be
Nothing.
nothing. I
Right?
think God should show me grace, and I think
Right?
my parents should show me grace, and I think that grace is a good thing, and I
Right?
should.
I think they
What
should
do you
show
do?
me mercy, sir. No, I don't know.
Hey, you tell me. How does grace work?
Right? Yeah, so that was my first confession is and then I guess so that's even worse is I lied. So I lied. I whatever. But yeah,
Most
the
confession
penance
is
was
shit
like,
some dude in the showers and shit like that. But hey, that
yeah,
was, I didn't want to say that, so I just said, hey, the dishes.
the dishes, right? That was the first thing that came to my head. But yeah, the penance was like go say 8 Hail Marys and say sorry to your brother. I was like, okay. But I'm saying like so that was it. That was my experience, and it was all very intimidating and very scary. And again, I had no foundational understanding of the faith that I was professing. All I
Did you
know is
drink the
we did
wine
it
and eat the
because
body?
this is what the family does.
Did you drink the wine and eat the body?
Yes,
Like,
yes, I did.
but not during COVID though, right?
No, no, this was
Everybody,
man,
everybody's drinking out the same cup.
dude, this
That's
was
wrong.
like what 1990,
That's wrong. I remember that, man.
89, 90, sometime around there.
That's the part that's wrong with us, and we'll have to get to that later. But yeah, like that part trips me out that you're so young, right? You're talking about 90, right? There, what, freshman?
No, that would have been in like first grade,
What? No way.
second grade, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let's get back to freshman. That's messed up because Right, you already know about that. Like we're 8 years difference. That's a big deal.
Yes.
And that's why I had problems. Because yeah, you're a freshman. And I'm what 20 something.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, yes, no, I didn't talk to you until I was 18, so
But still,
I was legal.
that's why I told you so many times. I'm going to school shows and doing performances at school shows to other 18-year-olds. That was the wrong part.
I can't help it. I was awesome. No, I'm just kidding.
You say 1990, man, I graduated in 92.
Oh gosh.
You're
Yeah,
talking,
in the early 90s, that was elementary school years for me. Yeah.
so freshman, how old are you then? Freshman.
Freshman, that's about 15, 16. So that would have been about 95, 96 school year.
Dang.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm like 4 years out of high school.
And for anybody, if you're listening and you're from Corpus Christi, I went to King High School. Go Mustangs. Woo!
Were y'all green?
Yeah, we were a green, white, and some like a maroon, but they didn't really show the maroon too much. It was mostly green, white.
I was golden maroon. Vikings.
The Vikings.
Vikings. Dang. Yeah, my people are old.
Yeah,
I'm old.
that's crazy.
So we're here where you got out of charter. Now, what happens? What are you doing with your music? You went back to Corpus. What are you doing with your music? What are you doing with your family? How's everything working in school? What's going on?
Well, like I said, when I first got out, I kind of um I developed an attitude, put it that way. Like I was, like I said, I had made up in my mind that I'm not gonna be nice to nobody no more. I'm not gonna let nobody kick me around, and so I kind of just started like I didn't care about school anymore. I stopped trying. I stopped, you know,
No more AB honor roll.
no more AB on. Yeah, because I was like, what does it matter? Nobody even cares. It's stupid thinking, like kids
No
would,
more smart classes.
huh?
No more smart classes.
Yeah, no more smart classes. I started failing everything because again, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be there, and so I was like, I skipped a lot of school. I skipped a lot of classes, and it was actually after the summer after this happened, right? The summer vacation when I was in ninth grade going to 10th grade. That's kind of what kicked me in the butt to start behaving because I wanted to keep doing talent shows and I was still very interested in that, but my parents told me that if I don't take school seriously, then I won't be allowed to do that.
Okay, so right now you're talking about your what, 9, 10?
Yeah. So I had to I went to summer school that year so that I could successfully pass to the 10th grade because like I said, I just completely I went south on that, so I had to go to summer school to, get my credits back and all this kinds of stuff, but I wasn't doing it because I wanted to do good in school. I did it because I wanted to try the singing thing again.
Okay, so this is important, right? Because especially when it comes to daddy-daughter relationships. And I know this from having 4 daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
One son,
Amigo man, my
right?
baby.
And 4 daughters. One I completely screwed up, and 3 with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my best,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, daddy-daughter relationships ain't easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what was your relationship with your father like as a teenager at this point?
It was just it was difficult because like I said, he went to work, he came home, went to work, came home. I made it like, yeah, I just after that I didn't want to bother him with my problems or or anything like that. So I kind of just kept things very superficial with him, just like, when he asked me questions about school, I'm like, yeah, it was all right, blah, 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 not really getting too deep into like how I'm feeling or what's going on or anything like that. So, um, it's just a very surface level relationship.
So
Um,
coming from a perspective of, again, I know a little bit about you because I know you,
yeah.
but I also know a father, and I can't like any talents my daughters have. I show interest in, and,
Mhm.
and I do that, and I can see from what your dad did on that perspective, right? Like he's at all your shows. He's taking pictures. Right? You know what I mean? Like I seen
Well,
that aspect of it, right? And I can
yeah.
hold on. I can understand that. Yeah, you might be doing things that are disappointing me because you're not making the right choices, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I can see that he did care. I mean, in other words, like I know your stories of how he was hard on you when you're doing your music and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
But I also know how I would be hard on my daughters because like I want the best for them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of so from that perspective, like what would you think? Like how was your relationship with your dad? Because I did see him, hey, buying new equipment and doing it. So talk about that. How did you feel about that? Because that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, well, it kind of ties into that year that I was talking about where I had to go to summer school and fix all that with my schooling, or else they wouldn't allow me to, do no more talent shows or anything like that.
Yeah.
But in the beginning of all that, when I'm first, like I said, they're just trying to get me to do good in school. They're not really at first, kind of taking me seriously about this whole music thing.
Yeah.
So after I had successfully completed summer school, they're, just like our kids, right? When we promise them something, they're on it, right? They're, Mom, remember you said we can go to whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very much like that. Okay, I was like, okay, so I passed my summer school. Do you know? You said that it means that I can do my talent shows again, and so my dad at this point, like I think, like I said, I don't think they took me seriously in the beginning because they kept on trying to say stuff to like put it off, right?
Yeah.
So my dad, my after I had done a couple talent shows, right? Um, I'm telling my dad like, "Oh, Dad, I want to get more into music. I want to learn to play an instrument. I want to do this. I want to do that." And so he told me, he's like, "Wait, hold on. Look, give me 2 years. 2 years. If you learn everything that you can about music, if
Mhm.
you stick to it for 2 years, I'll buy you the equipment that you need, and we'll take it seriously. We'll take it for real, right?"
Yeah.
And so I did it. I kept on doing the talent shows. I kept learning. I kept pursuing it. So yeah, sure enough, about roughly about 2 years later, I'm 16 years old, and my dad, I was true to my word, and so he saw that I was serious, and so he invested in me. He bought me a complete sound system. Um, to be able to go and start actually pursuing music at a professional level.
Yes.
Because up until this point, yeah, I'm doing talent shows and I'm doing, just again, I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying, like I have a deep desire to do this,
Yeah.
but
No,
there's no instruction manual.
your little setup was legit. I remember it. It was legit. I mean, it gave us what we needed to do our shows and stuff like that.
hmm
Yeah. No
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
And so at that point, my dad took role as my dad slash manager. And so that was the beginning of pursuing music at a professional level.
See, that's what I'm saying. I see that stuff, and I see the good parts of what a dad can be,
Yeah.
but I also know what the horror stories you told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I see the mix.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, my dad was like that too, man. Like one of the first like rap battles I was ever supposed to be in, like Eminem style, 8
Yeah.
style. This is your thing. You got to be here at this rap battle, or else the whole school is gonna be like, "Hey, you're bullshit."
Yeah.
Right? I was at a fucking new school. I was at a whole new school,
Yeah.
and this one dude called me out because I rap like you know how the teachers are, right? When you go to new
Yes.
school, right?
Yep.
Hey, what can you do? Oh, I can rap. Okay, cool. Rap for everybody. All right, cool. Bam, right?
Mm.
And whoever was the straight up, it was this dude like American. What was that show we like?
Which one?
The American something. The quarterback,
Oh, All American.
All American. There you go. Right. That show we like, right? Yeah, straight up. I went to this new school, San Juan Capistrano Valley High School. Right. There's this dude. He's the captain of the football team. He's the president of the student body council. Right? The whole package.
Yeah.
Right? And he's dating the Barbie of the school,
Mhm.
right? Blonde, straight up Barbie of the school, right?
Yeah.
And I get this class where, man, this is nice class where the whole back wall is just a glass wall opening into the courtyard. It was
Yeah.
beautiful, right? 60, 70 students. It was a big, like an auditorium almost, right? It wasn't a class. It was huge,
Yeah.
right? And this dude and this chick are sitting there, right? And the teacher's like, "Oh yeah, hey." They gave me like some chick from the student council that was like, her name was Maria, right? And she's supposed to walk me around. I'm a brand new kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Supposed to walk me around the school and this and that, right? She takes me to this class. The teacher introduced me. She like, remember that one time when Rhea Perlman, you know who she is, right? Carla from,
Yes.
right? She was a student.
Yeah.
She was a teacher, and she was just like fawning all over the student. I don't remember which movie it is, but
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
right? Oh, it's this guy, right? It was like that. I had a
Class Act.
straight,
That's what it was. Class Act. That movie.
okay, class act, yes,
Yeah.
yes. It was straight up like that. I had a Rhea Perlman freaking teacher, like, oh, this guy, right? And the girl that brought me, Maria, right? She was just all infatuated with me, like the minute, because I'm me, right?
Yeah.
Just being me. So yeah, I get up, I bust out, I rap and everything. The white girl, she dumps homeboy and tries talking to me, pisses him off, right? So there's like a whole thing, like at like straight up. This is like Fresh Prince of Bel Air,
Yeah.
and there's a whole nightclub where all the kids from this high school go to and do their thing, and this fool is the rap king of that freaking nightclub, and I get challenged to a battle, and I'm like, well, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I can't not go. I'm challenged to a battle by the guy because I took his chick. I did the thing. Like everybody loved me, right? I can't help that. I'm just being me, right?
Mhm.
But it was the weekend when my dad had to pick me up. It was my dad's weekend.
Ah.
Like, oh, you can't do this. And man, there was a whole canyon, a freaking canyon between where my mom lived. We lived in the neighborhood, Warren G.
Mhm.
He ended up, before he passed away, he died in this neighborhood, Coda de Casa.
Hold on. Wait. Who are you talking? Warren G is very much still alive. Who are you talking about?
Oh, uh,
Nate Dogg?
Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg passed away. Yes.
Well, when they're there, right? When they were
Yeah.
in the time when he passed away, he was living in this neighborhood called Coda de Casa. It was in Mission Viejo, California.
Mhm.
Very rich. Very. They had an equestrian center at
Oh,
their
damn.
club.
Yeah.
I'm living in this place because my mom had like my dad's homeboy. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy was building a mansion, and we got to live in the mansion until it was finally built.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like that. Anyway, we're living in the same neighborhood where Nate Dogg was living in, Warren G, all these dudes when that stuff during that time, right?
Yeah.
They're living in the same neighborhood. I'm living in this neighborhood. Anyway, all this happens. The thing happens. I'm supposed to go to this thing, and I got my dad. My dad's got the weekend. Man, I was fighting. I was like, Dad, I gotta go. Like I was fighting the whole time. He's like, no, we're going to Ontario. I'm like, Ontario, like that's whack. I'm so
Yeah.
far away from where I gotta be, right? And it was a fight to the point where, like, you know what? When you stop this, the first, like, it was a canyon, so there's a long ass drive before we even get to a stop sign where I can jump out the car and walk home, right?
Yeah.
Dad, I'm gonna do that. The minute you stop this car, I'm getting out the car and walking home. Cause I'm not missing this rap battle. I don't care what you say. Right? It was
Yeah.
like that. And yeah, my dad, oh my God, the minute we came to a stop sign, I'm getting ready to jump out the car and he just grabs me like, you are not going, my son.
Hmm.
And then this fool, I don't understand him. I would like to ask him to
Yeah.
understand. This fool drives me all the way back to where we live, to some mall in Mission Viejo, buys me some straight up kid and play fucking suit. Straight up kid and play. It was olive orange.
Olive orange.
Or what is it? Green. Olive green. Right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Olive green. I remember that. I remember it in detail with the shoulder pads and everything.
Oh,
Straight up kid and play style.
yeah. Did you get a
Hooks me
tie too, or
up.
what?
Hooks me up.
Yeah.
$150 suit. Man, I don't even understand this for real. And then we go to that nightclub and I rock it. Straight up 8 Mile Eminem style. I rock it and blow that dude away. I
Yeah.
never heard nothing from that dude ever again.
That's fun.
And yeah, John can tell you that chick, his ex, or whatever, was calling us, going to hey, let's go to the beach or whatever. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Man, for real. What you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you had to go through some stuff like your dad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. You know, I don't
Yeah.
understand my dad. I can't even comprehend. You know.
Yeah.
And then he straight took me and he bought me a suit and hooked me up, and I went in there and like the movies just rocked it. Yeah, this is where the place where you got to go in with the freaking either a stamp or a band on your hand because you ain't 18 yet.
Oh
Because you're
yeah.
21, you're just here. Man, Stevie J's, like, man, I used to rock nightclubs like that as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18-year-old. I wasn't 21 yet.
Yeah.
But my mom, my dad, yeah, they would take me and support me, even though it was like, what? You just fought me this whole time. Why'd you fight me?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, yeah, like deep into that, like, I know for a fact, like, from the stories you told me, your dad has fought you on stuff, but at the same time, done you and loved you and supported you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for your dad, that's a trip.
Yeah.
Like, how can they be our enemies and our best supporters at the same time?
Well, from what like I said, coming into it from an adult perspective now, I understand that both of my parents, their upbringing was a lot of well, that's just how old school mentality is. It's like once you make a mistake, that's it. You're trash, you know?
That's
Or
true.
once you make a mistake, you're no good no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, again, I have that understanding now, and as messed up as it sounds, like I said, I can't harbor any kind of resentment or hate them because like they're only going off of what they knew, what they learned,
Yeah.
you know? And that was a big thing that like I said, I had already grown up with everybody teasing me and bullying me and hitting me and calling me bad words and stuff, you know. So it was like I was used to it, because my dad, I love him very, very, very much, but because of that upbringing, he was very hard on me.
Okay, no.
Um,
So,
when it comes to the performances and stuff like that, because one of the difficult things I had to contend with in keeping my composure on stage again, I'm a teenager. I'm learning these things for the first time, and it was just very difficult to look out into a sea of people and they're smiling and laughing, and then you go and you look to where your parents are, and they're just like giving you the ugliest, like, ew, look. It would always be something different. It's because like, oh, you said this wrong, or I can't believe you wore that on stage, or I can't believe, it was always I didn't do anything right, which that kind of hindered me at the beginning because instead of allowing my
Just to be
character to develop, it was very subdued because that's all I could think about was like, oh, oh crap, am I gonna make my mom and dad mad? Am I
it's
gonna Are they not gonna like what I say? You know what I mean? Again, it's not like they sent me out there with like, hey, you should try this or whatever. It was just like, here, go. And then if I didn't get it
just
right,
to
it's
be
like,
fair,
ew, I can't
they
believe
didn't
you
even
messed up.
know.
Huh?
They, to be fair, they had no idea
Yeah, exactly. Again, as
of the world that you're stepping into.
from an adult perspective, I understand that, but at the time, it was very isolating and it felt very non-supportive. You know,
Yeah.
so that was difficult to contend with. But even more so, I saw the difference between when my dad was involved and then when my dad, I don't know if we want to go into that tonight, but my dad's ultimate exit from our life. I mean, he's still
That's
alive. Don't get me wrong.
that's
It's not like that, but
yeah, that's the final part of what we do before we end this. But
yeah,
yeah, so again, to be fair and to be honest, and
he protected me in that business because it was everything that you guys are seeing with the whole Diddy stuff and all that stuff going on. It's That's for real. That stuff. I mean, I was here local in the Texas arena of the entertainment industry, and yeah, it's really bad. My dad. Thank God for the time that he was being my manager because there. I mean, once my dad was out of the picture, I'm a young kid, 16, 17 years old, and I've got 34-year-old men, grown men, trying to hit up on me, trying to proposition me, trying to,
see, that's why I
tell,
feel
tell
bad.
what?
That's why I felt bad.
No, but I wasn't a babe. I wasn't 16 when I met you. I was already 18, 19 years old. I'm talking about, like I said, I'm a young teenager. I'm not legal age. I should not have been talked to like that by grown men.
Yeah.
And like I said, the when my dad was out of the picture, when he moved on to go, live his life and stuff like that, yeah, the wolves showed themselves. And so that's ultimately, why I got out of our local music business.
No, hold
I don't
on.
want to say the genre of music because I don't want to give it a whole bad name because, it's
But enjoy a bad name.
it's very prominent here, and there for all the bad that happened, there's still a lot of good, so I don't want to taint it in that way. But yeah, it is you if just a side note and warning to people trying to get into like the mainstream entertainment industry. You're best off trying to pursue things independently because yeah, they're wolves. They're wolves, and they're ready to eat you, and they're ready to take advantage of you.